We've spent so much time here on the deep dive, really just mastering new platforms, absorbing all this complex information.
Right, and building some really incredible projects along the way.
Exactly. We've been so focused on the learning part of it all, on being the student.
Well, I think today that changes a bit.
It really does. Today, we are making what feels like the ultimate transition. It's this pivotal jump from, the learner's chair right into the mentor's seat.
I like that, the mentor's seat.
We're talking about scaling the impact of all that knowledge, about becoming what the source calls a certified multiplier of skill.
And we're getting specific. We're diving deep into a blueprint for becoming an AI coach, specifically for website development.
Right. And this isn't just some high-level idea. This deep dive is built around a really comprehensive guide we found. It's almost a career map.
It is. It lays out this whole new career path. And it's not just about, upskilling yourself anymore. It's about professionalizing the skill of guiding other people to use AI for digital creation.
And this guide, it's packed with practical pathways, structured teaching methods, and I think this is the most important part, the essential ethics you need to lead in this space.
That's the crucial part. Absolutely.
Yeah, because we found this blueprint, and it had this insight that it really stuck with me. It said that true mastery isn't really achieved until you can simplify the process for someone else.
That's it. That's the whole game right there.
So our mission today is, it's pretty laser focused for you, the listener. We want to extract the core insights on how to stop just building your own projects and start shaping that next generation of innovators.
The ones who are using these skills to build sites, launch businesses, and, ultimately change their own careers.
We want you to be ready to teach.
And if we need a guiding principle for this whole deep dive, the source gives us a really powerful, almost philosophical one.
What's that?
It says, true mastery begins when you can explain simply what once felt impossible. That simplicity, that's the core of it. The ability to demystify these really complex AI tools, that's what makes a great coach. It's the highest form of expertise.
And the guide had this little coach's tip right next to that, which I loved. It said the fastest way to really understand something deeply is to teach it.
Yes. It's the final step.
It totally is. So coaching isn't just a service you're giving to others. It's the last, reinforcing stage of your own mastery.
Because you have to break it down. When you have to explain something like, database integration or prompt engineering in 5 simple steps to a total beginner,
You suddenly realize if you really get it or not.
you really do. It forces you out of your comfort zone and makes you explain the why behind everything you do.
So over the next half hour or so, we're going to cover the exploding and, urgent need for AI coaches.
We'll also get into the specific human traits that make a great digital mentor, which maybe surprisingly are not that technical.
And then the step-by-step pathways you can use, like right now, to build your own coaching brand or launch your very first digital classroom. Okay, so let's unpack this first big idea. The source material makes it so abundantly clear that the demand for AI-literate professionals is it's exploding.
Yeah.
Globally.
The new baseline literacy, really.
But the thing that surprised me, and the source really stresses this, is that the demand isn't necessarily for more AI developers.
Yeah.
It's for AI coaches and translators. It's so much broader than just software engineering.
That is the key distinction. The bottleneck isn't in the AI's capability anymore. It's in our ability to understand and apply that capability.
Right.
The material is clear. The demand is for AI-literate professionals across every single vertical you can imagine. We're talking teachers who need help designing lessons.
Designers using generative assets, marketers.
Entrepreneurs trying to get a digital storefront up and running. The real need is for people who can bridge that gap between what AI can do and what a business needs it to do, like right now, to make a profit.
So let's go deep on where this massive need is coming from. The source breaks it down into 4 key sectors. First up is education. What's the specific pain point a coach is solving there?
In education, teachers are drowning. They're drowning in admin work, but they know they need to bring AI into the classroom. They just don't know how.
And they definitely don't have time to figure it out on their own.
Not at all. So a coach who specializes in this area helps teachers learn AI-assisted lesson design. Think about how much time it takes to plan lessons, design rubrics, differentiate instruction for different students.
That's basically their entire job outside of the classroom.
It is. But now, with AI lesson planners, a coach can show a teacher how to generate a full 90-minute history lesson plan, complete with 3 different activities and assessment criteria, in 60 seconds.
That's saving hours every week.
It's giving them back their evenings, their weekends. It lets them focus their energy back on the students, not on the paperwork. This is a huge, huge market in every single school district.
Okay, that makes total sense. And the application gets even more immediate when we look at the next sector, small businesses. This feels like it's about pure survival.
Absolutely. Small business owners, they operate on thin margins and with basically zero extra time.
They're not going to hire a whole dev team.
No way. But they absolutely need a professional online presence that works instantly and can handle e-commerce. So an AI coach comes in and teaches them how to use these no-code or low-code AI site builders.
So we're talking about generating a whole website for like a local bakery or a landscaping company in an afternoon.
Exactly. Using tools that can write the copy, suggest the layout, even create the images. The coaching here is all about prompt optimization, knowing what to ask the AI to make sure the final website actually reflects their brand.
It's democratizing the professional website.
Completely. It's giving these bootstrapping businesses a fighting chance.
All right, the third sector is all about individual career growth, freelancers. This seems like a pure upskilling play.
It is, precisely. Freelancers have to be market chameleons, right? Always looking to get into new, more lucrative fields.
Or just expand what they can offer their existing clients.
Right. So being able to build a sophisticated portfolio website quickly with AI is a massive competitive advantage. If you are a graphic designer, a coach can help you start offering web design plus all your graphic assets.
And if you're a copywriter, now you can offer website copy plus the entire AI site build.
Exactly. The coach helps them through that upskilling process efficiently. They show them how to let the AI do the heavy lifting, the 80 or 90%, so they can focus their human expertise on that last 10% of refinement that really makes it shine.
And finally, we have the foundation of the future workforce, students.
This is all about ensuring digital fluency from day one. Students need to get hands-on experience. The source calls it no-code app labs.
So moving beyond just using a search engine.
Way beyond. It's about using generative AI as an everyday tool for creativity and problem solving. A coach can provide these structured, short projects, build a personal blog, create a simple calculator app so they graduate with practical AI experience, not just theory.
What's really sticking with me here is the source's big assertion that every neighborhood, every school, every business needs at least one AI translator.
Yeah.
That role, it feels like the linchpin for all of this technology adoption.
It is. It's truly the essential role of this decade. The AI translator is that local expert who, yeah, they understand the jargon APIs, tokens, LLMs.
All the stuff that makes people's eyes glaze over.
Right. But crucially, they can translate that power into simple, actionable steps for someone who is not technical at all. They're the ones who fight platform fatigue.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. A small business owner hears about needing to customize a database schema, and they just shut down.
Yeah, I would too.
But the translator simplifies it. They say, look, just think of a spreadsheet, but smarter. You just tell me what columns you need, names, prices, how many you have in stock, and the AI sets it all up for you instantly.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
They take the fear out of it. They democratize access by stripping away the complexity.
And this focus on the human guide brings us right back to what the source calls the confidence factor. It was a coach's tip, and it connects coaching directly to leadership.
Absolutely. Because when you coach someone to use AI, you're not just teaching a tech skill, you're building their self-efficacy.
You're showing them they can do something they thought was impossible.
And saving them a ton of time. That boost in competency, in their own self-reliance, the source defines that as the very essence of real leadership. You're giving them tools that build both confidence and competence at the same time.
That feeling of, wow, I can actually build that myself now.
That's the empowerment, and that's what drives success long after your coaching session is over.
So, okay, we get why the demand is exploding and where it's most urgent. We know that just being an expert builder isn't enough. The question now is, what are the specific non-technical qualities that define a really successful guide in this fast-moving and frankly kind of high-anxiety field?
That's the perfect pivot, because the technical skills, those are almost the easy part to teach. The human element, that's where the real value is.
Yeah.
The source really emphasizes this crucial mindset shift for the coach.
Yeah.
It's less about just transferring information and much more about facilitation.
Right. A great coach doesn't have to be the smartest person in the room.
Not at all. They have to be the one who listens really intently, who guides gently, and who can simplify the complex stuff until it just feels intuitive.
This just screams that empathy is the new killer app in the AI age. The source outlines 5 essential coaching traits, and they're all non-technical. Let's start with the big one, the cornerstone, patience.
Patience is. It's absolutely critical right now because the tools themselves change so fast. Learners have to feel safe to just experiment and mess up without being judged. To make mistakes safely.
Yes, a patient coach sees errors not as failures, but as, necessary steps toward discovery. If a student's ChatGPT prompt for a website layout just completely fails,
Which it will.
it will. The impatient coach just jumps in and fixes it. But the patient coach guides the student to debug it themselves. They'll ask, okay, what did you want to happen? What actually happened? Which word in your request do you think the AI got hung up on?
And that teaches them how to think, not just how to copy a correct prompt.
Exactly. It builds resilience.
Okay, the second trait is clarity. The source says to prioritize concrete examples over all the dense technical jargon that's just everywhere in the AI space.
Clarity is all about constant simplification. If you're explaining an abstract concept like an API or web hosting.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Right. A great coach won't use the academic definition. They'll use a simple, powerful analogy. They make sure the learner gets the function intuitively before they ever touch the actual code or the AI prompt.
Because examples stick, and jargon just creates fear.
It creates mental roadblocks instantly. Okay, number 3 is empathy. And this one feels like it's the hardest one to maintain once you've become an expert yourself.
It's a constant exercise in self-awareness. You have to actively remember what it felt like to be totally new.
The intimidation of just a blank screen.
The frustration when a simple command fails for no reason you can see. That empathy allows the coach to slow down, to validate how the learner is feeling, and to spot those really basic misunderstandings that an expert just doesn't see anymore.
You have to meet them where they are.
Not where you wish they were. That's key.
The 4th trait is consistency. The source points out that showing up regularly, like every week, is key for momentum.
Consistency is all about providing structure. In a field moving this fast, it's so easy for a learner to get overwhelmed or just put it off. The coach is that regular, reliable framework.
Little steps build up.
Small steps, applied consistently, create huge growth.
Yeah.
That weekly check-in, even a short one, it reinforces good habits, creates accountability, and stops the learner from getting lost in the chaos of updates between sessions.
And finally, the 5th trait, which is so relevant to AI, adaptability.
Yeah. Adaptability is the superpower. It's the ability to let the AI itself adjust the content to match each individual learner's level.
So you could have a group of 5 students, but they're all on slightly different paths.
Exactly. One might be a coding whiz who's ready for advanced database stuff, while another is still just trying to understand basic HTML tags.
You can't teach them the same thing in the same way.
An adaptable coach doesn't even try. They use AI tools to quickly generate differentiated materials, easier explanations for one student, a harder challenge for another. The content is tailored dynamically on the fly.
The coach's tip on the emotional connection really brings all 5 of these traits together. It says students forget the specific lessons,
They forget the code syntax.
but they never forget how the coach made them feel.
That's the enduring impact. If you make them feel competent, capable, and supported, they will keep learning long after your class is done. That feeling of success is the ultimate driver.
Okay, so this is where it gets really, really interesting for me. We've just established what the human coach needs to bring to the table. Patience, empathy, motivation.
All the things AI is terrible at.
Precisely. So now let's flip it and look at what the AI can handle, how it basically becomes your teaching assistant.
It's your co-teacher. It handles all the heavy administrative lifting, which frees up the human coach to focus purely on those high-value human traits.
It's like the AI handles the 80% of prep work that used to drain teachers.
Exactly. So the human can focus on the 20% that requires real emotional intelligence.
Let's start with the biggest time suck of all, lesson planning.
Okay, so you can use tools like ChatGPT or Notion AI to just instantly generate a whole course structure. The source gives a great prompt example. Create a 4-week beginner web design course outline, focusing on AI tools and culminating in a live site launch.
And that would have taken days to plan out properly before.
Days. And now it takes seconds. Then the human coach comes in, reviews it, refines it, adds their personal stories and examples. Their energy is focused on the delivery, not the grunt work of structuring.
What about visual aids? Making these abstract ideas easy to grasp.
You use tools like Leonardo.ai or Canva Magic to generate custom infographics. Let's say you need to explain the relationship between HTML and CSS.
The structure versus the style.
Right. Instead of spending an hour trying to draw a diagram, you just prompt the AI to create a graphic comparing it to a house. HTML is the foundation and the walls. CSS is the paint, the furniture, the decorations.
Instantly makes sense. And you don't have to be a graphic designer.
Exactly. It makes complex ideas concrete and memorable.
And then there's the really tedious part. Assessment tools. Making quizzes.
Again, AI handles it. Tools like ChatGPT or QuizGecko can churn them out. After a lesson on APIs, you could prompt it. Make 10 multiple-choice questions about APIs, focusing on common errors.
So the coach is freed up to think about the point of the quiz, not writing every single question.
Exactly. They can focus on making sure it actually assesses understanding, not just rote memorization.
Okay, and last one. The headache for every teacher everywhere. Administrative help. Grading and analysis.
This is where ChatGPT or even the AI in Google Sheets becomes a powerful data processor. You can feed it student submissions, project summaries, whatever.
And it does what?
It can summarize the whole class's progress. It can identify common weak spots. It might spit out a report that says, hey, 75% of your students are struggling with this specific CSS concept.
Wow. So that's immediate, actionable feedback for the coach.
Telling you exactly what you need to review in the next session. You spend your time analyzing the data and teaching, not compiling it.
So the AI handles the planning, the content, the admin. Now we can finally look at the actual delivery, the teaching methods that make sure all this learning actually sticks.
Right, it's time to get into the pedagogy. You know, the beautiful thing about this whole model is the incredibly low barrier to entry for the coach. The source really emphasizes that you can start small.
You don't need a lecture hall or a university affiliation.
Not at all. Just gathering 5 learners in a community center, a library, even a coffee shop. That's a perfectly valid start.
And the gear list is minimal too. A laptop, internet, access to free AI tools.
A simple presentation and some practice tasks. The investment is your time and your expertise, not thousands of dollars in software and infrastructure.
So the focus is entirely on the methodology. The source outlines 4 core teaching methods that work for all ages. The first is learn by building.
This is a classic, but AI just puts it on steroids.
Right, because it accelerates that time to result.
Exactly. The philosophy is, start with a tangible project so students see results fast and get hooked. Instead of 3 weeks of boring theory, they build a simple working homepage in the very first session using AI.
And that immediate success is so motivating.
It completely changes the dynamic. They stop being passive consumers of information, and they immediately become active creators.
I love the second method. Explain in stories. This speaks directly to how our brains are wired to remember things.
It does. We remember characters and stories way better than we remember technical commands. This is how you make the invisible world inside a computer feel relatable.
So instead of defining a server in technical terms,
You personify it. The server becomes a hardworking librarian. The user's browser sends a request, and the librarian runs off to find the right files, the HTML, the CSS, the images, and brings them back. A database is a perfectly organized filing cabinet.
so a bug isn't a technical error. It's a miscommunication between the librarian and the filing cabinet.
Precisely. The story gives them a mental model to hang the technical knowledge on. It makes it stick.
The third method is genius. Pair practice with AI feedback. This turns the AI into the student's personal tutor.
It's a fantastic way to scale feedback. You encourage the students to use the AI themselves to check their own work.
How does that work in practice?
A student builds something, say a little CSS layout. Then you tell them to go to ChatGPT and ask it, explain the CSS code to me like I'm 5, and then suggest 3 ways a professional would make it better.
So it reinforces what they just did, forces them to articulate it, and gives them instant objective feedback.
And it does it without taking up any of the coach's one-on-one time. It's an incredible feedback loop.
And the fourth method is all about psychology. Celebrate mistakes.
You have to. In coding, failure is not just an option, it is a guarantee. You have to actively reframe it.
So when a student's website breaks,
The coach doesn't get frustrated. They get excited. They say, fantastic, this is a learning opportunity. We now get to figure out exactly why this broke, which means you'll know how to fix it for a client one day. It's about encouraging curiosity, not fear.
to make all this real, the source gives a detailed 5-session framework, a complete course model. Let's walk through it.
It's a great model because it's a complete journey from 0 to a live website in 5 manageable steps.
Okay, session 1. What is a website?
The activity is pure creation. Build a simple homepage. They use ChatGPT to generate the text and a tool like Replit for the simple coding environment.
So it bypasses all that frustrating setup and configuration that loses so many beginners.
Instantly, they get a win in the first hour.
Session 2 is about design and UI. The look and feel.
Right. Here, the activity is creating a hero section using an AI design tool like Uzard for the wireframe and Canva Magic for the visuals. It separates design thinking from the coding part.
It proves you don't have to be a creative type to make something that looks good.
Exactly. It breaks down that mental block.
Session 3 gets into the core coding. Front-end basics.
Now that they have a design and content, they start actually editing the HTML and CSS that the AI generated. This is where they start to understand how it works. They move from just generating to actually modifying and debugging.
That's a huge step toward taking ownership.
A critical step.
Session 4 tackles the scary part, the back end.
And the activity here is to connect a simple database using a tool like Supabase. The key is that Supabase has a really friendly interface that hides most of the complexity. It introduces them to dynamic content without needing months of database theory.
And the grand finale, Session 5, launch day.
The final activity is just publishing the site live using a simple service like Netlify or Vercel. This is the moment of maximum emotional impact.
And that brings us to this really profound coach's tip. The source observed that when students see their project live on the internet, their confidence triples overnight.
It's the most powerful moment. It solidifies their transformation. They went from a passive student to an active creator of a thing the world can actually see.
The source also included a real story to ground all this about Hira's community class.
This is a perfect case study. Hira, a 25-year-old teacher, she took this exact model. She wasn't a pro developer. She was just a motivated teacher.
And she guided 10 teenagers to build personal websites in 3 weeks.
In her neighborhood, in the evenings, using only free tools. And the challenges were huge. Some of these kids had never even heard of version control. Many were intimidated by the word code.
So how did she get past that initial fear?
By using that learn by building method right away. In the very first session, when they saw a basic page load with content they helped create, all that hesitation it evaporated.
And she used the storytelling method too.
Constantly. Comparing code functions to things in their daily lives, pretty soon, the kids were treating the AI-generated code less like a sacred text and more like, digital clay they could shape and mold.
And what was the impact on launch day?
It became a huge community celebration. Parents, neighbors, local shop owners all came to see the 10 live websites. One kid had a site for their crafts, another for their photography. The pride was just tangible.
Wow.
Hira's little class showed that teaching just a handful of people can start this ripple effect of digital empowerment through a whole community. It completely validates the model.
So we get the how, the methods, the model. Now, for you listening, if you're feeling energized and ready to teach, how do you turn this into an actual career? Into a brand?
It's time to talk about the pathways, the income streams, and how to scale this.
So these AI website skills we're talking about, they're not just for coaching. They create immediate, high-value income streams on their own. Freelancing is the first and fastest way to monetize this.
Absolutely. The speed and efficiency that AI gives you means you can take on client work that just wouldn't have been profitable before. You're compressing what used to be a week's worth of work into a day, maybe 2.
So what are some of those immediate pathways? Where can a new AI builder start making money right away?
Well, the most obvious one is creating small, effective websites for local businesses. This market is massive and so underserved.
The yoga studio, the independent bookstore, the coffee shop.
Exactly. All these places that desperately need a modern, mobile-friendly site but can't afford an agency. You can deliver a high-quality, AI-assisted site with the copy and basic SEO already baked in, way faster and cheaper.
So you can charge less but actually make a higher hourly rate because your time is so compressed.
That's the magic. A site that might have cost $5,000 from a traditional agency, you can confidently quote maybe $1,500 or $2,000 for and still have a huge profit margin.
And then you can get into recurring revenue with maintenance or redesign services.
That's the key to stable income. You build the site, and then you offer a small monthly retainer for maintenance. And since you built it with these AI and low-code tools, the updates are usually pretty simple adjustments. Not a ton of manual coding. It's highly profitable.
The source also mentioned a great path for more passive income, selling templates on places like Gumroad.
This is a fantastic way to scale. You don't trade your time for money. You use your AI tools to design beautiful, functional templates for a specific niche.
Don't just make a generic business template.
Right. Get specific. Create AI-powered lead capture templates for real estate agents or single-page landing pages for fitness coaches. They solve a clear problem for a specific audience, and you can price them from, say, $20 to $100. You build it once, you sell it forever.
And of course, you can directly monetize the coaching itself through platforms like Fiverr or Udemy.
This is the natural next step. You can offer a short, high-value coaching session on Fiverr, like a 90-minute AI website audit.
Oh, that's smart.
Or you build a full course on Udemy, showing people how to use the 5-session model we just talked about. That course becomes an evergreen income source.
And the AI helps you with the business side of things, too. It can write your gig descriptions for you.
The source gives a great prompt for this. Write a gig description for my new website design service that uses AI tools. Make sure you target small businesses in the wellness industry. It just removes all that friction from getting started.
So that's freelancing. But if you want to go better, to really scale your impact and build a proper online coaching brand, the source lays out 5 essential steps.
And step 1 is absolutely foundational. Choose a niche. You have to focus.
You can't be the coach for everyone.
If you are, your message is just noise. The example they give is specializing in something granular, like being the AI website builder for solopreneurs. That clarity cuts through and attracts the right people immediately.
Step 2, build your own website. Seems obvious, but you can't skip it.
It's your proof of concept. Your site has to be a stunning example of what you teach. It's your #1 sales tool. It validates your expertise before you even say a word.
Step 3 is all about modern marketing. Share free lessons. Use YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Free content is your currency. Short tutorials, quick tips. Here's how to build a landing page in 5 minutes with Canva Magic. You give away value to demonstrate your authority and draw on people who will eventually pay for more personalized help.
You teach in public to earn clients in private.
That's it.
Step 4, create an email list. This is the asset you actually own.
Indispensable. Social media algorithms can change overnight and wipe out your reach. Your email list is a direct line to your most dedicated followers. It's how you share your best tips and, crucially, how you make offers for your paid classes.
Which brings us to step 5. Offer small paid group classes. This is the path to real scalable income.
Group classes are the sweet spot. They're high value, so you can charge a premium for the personalized interaction, but you're also leveraging your time by teaching 10 or 20 people at once. It's the perfect bridge between free content and big automated courses.
The coach's tip here really ties it all together. Branding is storytelling with purpose. Your mission isn't just I build websites.
No, your mission is I empower people to build their own future. That purpose is what creates loyalty. People buy into your why, not just your what.
Beyond your own brand, there's another powerful path. Partnering for wider impact with places like schools and libraries.
This is a huge, often overlooked opportunity. These organizations have mandates and budgets for digital literacy, but they often lack trainers who are up to date on modern AI tools.
And the source says they are actively looking for volunteers to help fill that gap.
Absolutely. You can offer to run a free workshop to get your foot in the door. You get immediate access to a motivated group, you build credibility in your community, and you get testimonials.
And that free workshop can often lead to paid contracts down the line.
Very often. Once they see how effective you are, they'll hire you to train their staff or run more advanced classes. And again, AI helps you prepare. You can prompt it, create a 2-hour workshop plan on AI for small business for my local library, and you have a professional outline ready to go.
This feels like such a robust career path. But, as we always say, with great power comes great responsibility. We have to talk about the ethics guiding this new profession.
It's foundational, because if people lose trust in how these tools are being used, the whole AI economy could falter. The source is very, very clear on this. Coaching ethics is all about teaching with integrity. Your biggest responsibility as a coach is to be honest and humble about the power and the limits of these tools.
Let's break down the core principles, starting with the big one. Transparency. This feels absolutely critical when you're using generative AI.
It's completely non-negotiable. You have to always acknowledge when AI generated something, whether it's the course outline, a graphic, or the starter code your students are using.
You have to say, the AI wrote 80% of this foundational code, but our human value lies in the other 20%. The debugging, the critical decisions, the strategy.
Exactly. If you take credit for the AI's output, You're fundamentally misrepresenting the process, and you're failing as a teacher of that process.
Yeah.
You're there to show them how to ethically integrate the tool, not how to hide it.
The second principle is credit.
Give your sources their due, both human and machine. If you use an open source template, you credit the creator. If an AI model's license requires attribution, you provide it. It fosters a culture of respect and shared knowledge.
Right, moving away from that idea that anything you find online is a free-for-all.
We have to.
Third principle, respect.
And this goes beyond just having patience. It's an ethical requirement. You have to treat every student and client with dignity, respect their learning pace, understand their background.
It means seeing a student who is struggling with something basic, not as unintelligent, but just as someone who hasn't had the same exposure. And it's your job to bridge that gap respectfully.
That's it. It's about creating an inclusive environment.
And finally, confidentiality.
This is huge in the age of data. You have to protect your students' and clients' privacy. They might be inputting sensitive information into these tools as they learn. The coach has an ethical duty to make sure those systems are secure and all their data is handled responsibly.
The coach's tip here really wraps this up perfectly. Teach truthfully, and your reputation becomes your brand.
That trust is everything. It's the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose. If you are known for honest, ethical teaching, your brand will thrive no matter which AI tool is popular this month.
You know what's really framing the urgency of all this for me? It's the global timeline the source provides. It makes this bold prediction that by 2030, nearly every single profession will involve AI at some level.
That prediction doesn't just raise the stakes, it completely redefines the role of education itself. We're not teaching a niche skill for tech nerds anymore. This is foundational literacy for the entire workforce for the next decade.
And that clarifies the very specific role of the AI coach. The source says that the coaches who can explain how AI assists creativity, not replaces it, those are the people who will shape the future.
That distinction is paramount. It has to be the coach's constant message. AI is a powerful collaborator, not a substitute for human thought, for vision, for ethical judgment.
AI handles the tedious part, but the human provides the purpose.
The human provides the why.
The final insight in the material draws this really clear line between roles we often confuse in this space.
Yes, a teacher expands minds with broad knowledge. A coach builds confidence through practical application.
But an AI coach,
An AI coach is something new. They create creators. They empower people to independently build real, tangible digital things that solve problems, and that multiplies their impact out in the world exponentially.
this whole deep dive is meant to give you that blueprint. So let's connect it back to you, the listener, with the actionable steps from the source's practice zone.
If you're serious about this, the material suggests 3 things you can do today. First, define your niche. Ask yourself right now, who do I want to help? Is it students, small businesses, fellow freelancers? Get clear on your audience.
Second, design a mini course. Use AI to help you. Go to your favorite tool and prompt it. Outline a 5-day AI website bootcamp for beginners who are fitness coaches. Just see how fast you can create a professional curriculum.
And third, plan your first workshop. Pick a date. It could be on Zoom or at your local library. Define 3 clear, achievable goals for your first small group of learners. Just start small, like Hyra did. Focus on delivering that first tangible success.
Let's do a quick summary of the 5 critical lessons we've pulled from the source today.
Okay. We defined the AI coach as a guide who teaches with empathy. We explored teaching with AI, using it to simplify and speed up learning. We identified real career pathways, from freelancing to building a brand. We stressed the need for ethical coaching, transparency, and respect. And finally, we saw the huge impact this has on communities.
This has been an incredibly practical blueprint. The opportunity's right here, right now, and the tools are all accessible.
You are no longer just a student of this technology. You have the potential to be a digital mentor, shaping that next generation.
Guiding others to use AI wisely. It multiplies hope, knowledge, and opportunity.
It really does.
So as you close out this deep dive, take a moment for the reflection question the source asks. What specific skill do you love explaining most? The thing that just lights you up when you teach it? And how will you use AI to simplify and multiply that knowledge for others?
And we want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to chew on. If AI tools can now instantly create our course outlines, our visuals, our quizzes, then the true value of the human coach shifts completely away from content delivery.
It shifts entirely toward motivational guidance, emotional intelligence, and ethical application.
Oh.
So, will future AI coaches be less technologists and more
Yeah.
Human behavior specialists, specializing in the psychology of creation.
That is something to think about as you start designing your first lesson.